The complete history of the Vikings, beyond the myths. What if everything you've heard about the Vikings was only half the story? They weren't just ruthless warriors, they were fearless explorers, skilled traders, master shipbuilders, and the first Europeans to reach North America nearly 500 years before Columbus. Today, we're uncovering the complete history of the Vikings, from their humble beginnings to their legendary raids, astonishing discoveries, and the dramatic end of the Viking Age. Let's journey back more than 1,200 years. Chapter 1. Who were the Vikings? The word Viking often brings to mind fierce warriors charging into battle with axes raised high. But surprisingly, not every Scandinavian was a Viking. The term Viking referred to people who went on overseas expeditions, whether for trade, exploration, or raiding. Most people in Scandinavia were actually farmers, fishermen, blacksmiths, and merchants. The Vikings came mainly from modern-day Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Their rugged homeland with rocky coastlines, deep fjords, and cold winters offered limited farmland. As populations grew, many sought opportunities across the sea. Their greatest invention was the longship. Lightweight, flexible, and incredibly fast, these ships could sail across open oceans and travel far inland along rivers. This unmatched mobility allowed Viking crews to strike unexpectedly before disappearing just as quickly. Chapter 2. The beginning of the Viking Age. Most historians mark the beginning of the Viking Age with one event: the raid on the monastery of Lindisfarne in England in 793 AD. The monastery was wealthy and poorly defended. When Viking ships appeared on the horizon, the monks had little chance of resisting. This attack shocked Christian Europe. To many people, the Vikings seemed unstoppable, arriving without warning and disappearing with treasure before armies could respond. This raid wasn't just a robbery. It marked the start of nearly 3 centuries of Viking expansion. Chapter 3. Why did the Vikings raid? So why did they risk dangerous journeys across stormy seas? The answer wasn't simply greed. Scandinavia's harsh climate made farming difficult, and growing populations created competition for land. Overseas expeditions promised wealth, silver, livestock, and valuable goods. Politics also played a role. Successful raids brought prestige and helped ambitious leaders gain followers. Not all Vikings were raiders, however. Many traveled peacefully, establishing trade routes stretching from the Middle East to the Arctic Circle. Chapter 4. The Masters of the Sea. Without their ships, the Viking story would never have happened. Longships were engineering marvels. Their shallow draft allowed them to sail in oceans, rivers, and even be carried over short stretches of land. This gave Viking crews incredible flexibility. One day they could be sailing across the North Sea. The next, they could appear hundreds of kilometers inland. Fun fact: some Viking longships could travel at speeds approaching 15 knots, making them among the fastest vessels of their era. The ships were also symbols of status. Wealthy leaders often commissioned beautifully carved, dragon-headed ships that inspired both fear and admiration. The Great Viking Explorers. The Vikings weren't only conquerors. They were among history's greatest explorers. Around 870 AD, Norse settlers reached Iceland. Later, Eric the Red established settlements in Greenland after being exiled from Iceland. His son, Leif Erikson, continued westward. Around the year 1000, Leif reached a land he called Vinland, located in what is now Newfoundland, Canada. That means Vikings reached North America nearly 500 years before Columbus. Archaeological discoveries at L'Anse aux Meadows confirmed this remarkable achievement. The Vikings crossed some of the world's most dangerous seas using little more than stars, sunlight, wind, waves, and extraordinary navigational skill. Chapter 6. Viking Life. Daily Viking life was far different from Hollywood's image. Families lived on farms where they raised livestock and grew crops whenever the climate allowed. Women often managed households and could own property in many Viking societies. Children learned practical skills from a young age. Craftsmen produced jewelry, weapons, textiles, and beautifully carved wooden objects. Trade connected Scandinavia with England, Byzantium, the Islamic world, and beyond. Silver coins from distant lands have been found buried in Viking hoards across northern Europe. Chapter 7. Viking Beliefs. The Vikings followed the Old Norse religion. Their gods included Odin, the wise ruler of Asgard, Thor, the mighty god of thunder, and Loki, the unpredictable trickster. Warriors hoped to reach Valhalla, where they believed they would prepare for Ragnarok, the final battle of the gods. Over time, Christianity gradually spread throughout Scandinavia, changing Viking society forever. Chapter 8. The Fall of the Vikings. The Viking Age did not end with one dramatic battle. Instead, it faded over generations. European kingdoms became stronger and built better defenses. Scandinavian rulers formed more centralized governments. Christianity reshaped culture and politics. Perhaps the symbolic end came in 1066, when Norwegian king Harald Hardrada was defeated at the Battle of Stamford Bridge in England. Many historians consider this the closing chapter of the Viking Age. But Viking influence did not disappear. Their language shaped English. Their trade routes transformed Europe. Their settlements became thriving cities, and their stories continue to inspire books, films, television, and history enthusiasts around the world. Conclusion. The Vikings were far more than fearless raiders. They were explorers who crossed oceans no European had previously documented. They were traders connecting continents, builders who mastered ship design, settlers who founded new communities, and warriors whose reputation echoed across Europe for centuries. Their true story is not simply one of conquest, it is one of courage, innovation, resilience, and discovery. If you enjoyed this journey through Viking history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to World History Vault, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next documentary. And here's a question for you. If you could travel with the Vikings on one expedition, where would you go? Iceland, Greenland, Vinland, or somewhere else? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that shaped our world.